What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Elite Dangerous. When we left off in the last episode, we actually did a pretty good job of not dying and making a decent amount of progress on our way using our first Neutron stars. Now, in the last episode, I also marked, as you can see, all these random bookmarks. I marked a bunch of them within the distance of, like, the 1,000 light years that I could typically travel in an episode. But I was having to switch between realistic and map to find them in the last video because I was going off of a sheet that told me where they were. And when I got there, because of the filters, it wouldn't turn them on. Now, I got a comment that was saying, use non-sequence stars down here at the bottom, and it will actually keep the neutron stars in play on your filter. So that's pretty cool. Now, of course, I took this another level and like tried to turn off the rest of the filters. Now, this would make things easier for finding neutron stars if that's all you were looking for. If you turn everything but those off. I think that's how that works. I don't know if there's any other non-sequence stars in the game or not. But you can. Let me see if I can find one here. It's hard to see, but you can see these little guys floating around here. I think some of those are them. Let me zoom in a little bit more. There's a few. So there's a few here and there. And everywhere. Yeah, more neutron stars. So if you were really in a pickle and couldn't find one, really wanted to find one, you could do it that way. But of course, I was like, well, can I make a map out of this? Like, how does... like, can I plot a route? And the route plotting has not worked very well. And it's probably because of the distance marker. Oh, that's weird. So, like, if I turn the booster on, then maybe... But even then, it says jump range is 67, which when I boost on a neutron star, it's like 120. So I don't think that would really... That's not really viable for plotting a route, unfortunately. I hope one day they'll actually do a neutron star route. That would be kind of cool. Like, you could just map it. But for now, we're stuck with it. Now, the only thing that is a little odd to me... Oh, that was weird. I changed my marker. I was trying to get somewhere. The only thing that's a little bit odd to me is it's basically that there's like you can include it in the filter, right? Like you can add non-sequence stars in the filter so you know where you're going. Or you can see and select neutron stars like I just did here and plot a route to it. The weird part is it doesn't seem to take them into account. That's the odd thing. I guess it makes sense when you consider that, well, you know, I need to have... Right now it doesn't think I can go that far, you know. Whereas, but it's like this. Why wouldn't it plot to this one when it's right next to the one that it wants to go to in the first place? So it's a little weird that it doesn't take that into account. Now, just to double check, let me make sure that I'm selected on the right thing. So, that's 29. But is there another one that shows... I don't see another one with the route. Destination. I don't know, we're going to jump one way or another, it's fine. But, so yeah, that's a little bit on the weird side. A little wonky. That, like, I was thinking, okay, I can include it, so, you know, now it's going to take that into account when I jump. Negative. It does not seem to like doing that. Now, this says star class N. I never noticed that before, so I'm guessing that's a neutron, whereas all the other ones are like, you know, the KGB foam acronym for refuelable stars. None of those are N, so, you know, obviously that's got to be going to the right place. But yeah, I thought that was a little weird, that it didn't take them into account once you could add them to the filter, because the biggest problem before was you couldn't add them to the filter. Or at least I didn't know you could. But, you know. So, yeah, I thought that was a little odd that it doesn't actually compensate for that, but... Whatever. My thing I'm going to try today, last episode we kind of went route by route, right? Like it was like jump to jump, things like that. What I'm going to do today is leave the route going the way that it is. I might have to recalculate it once or twice. I'm not really sure. Alright, come on, come on, come on. Alright, get out. Out. Out, 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 please. Ooh, that was a little unnerving. Alright, so our jump range is now 127. Oh, and someone pointed this out to me too. The 135 is... It's hard to explain, but it's like optimal weight or something like that. I forget how it's exactly explained. But basically, I didn't take into account fuel. Fuel was the big issue. Wait, what is this? Is this where we are? Oh, that's weird. Oh, it is where we are. Okay. Okay. Now, hold on. Max route exceeded, but it's 885. Oh, it automatically switched. Okay, now this is interesting. Look at the bottom. It says 127, and we're supercharged. Interesting. Okay, now we're talking. So basically, it can't... I'm trying to work through the mechanics here in my head. I'm guessing it can't match a full route because it can't guarantee that you're going to be supercharged the entire way. I think that's what's oh, I didn't mean to plot a route there. I think that's what's going on. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Is it's unable to calculate a route past that jump because it doesn't know if you're going to be able to keep up that pace. I think that's what's happening here. Could be wrong. Could totally be wrong. Let's double check. I didn't really check my modules last episode either when we stopped. Where's my frameshift drive? 99. We're okay.
Frameshift drive.
Now, I don't know if it wears and tears on any other modules or if it's just the frameshift drive for the auto field maintenance that we need to be concerned about. I'm not really sure. I never really checked. But yeah, that seems like what was going on there, because you can tell that it actually disabled the route. It changed to a supercharged setting for the FSD boost and all that kind of stuff. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. I hope they'll find some way to essentially upgrade the algorithm to where it could be like your first jump is within this range, and if there is a neutron star within that range, target that and then tell them, you know, keep going with that pace kind of thing until you can't get to a neutron star, and then drop to your normal jump range. I'm hoping that's something they can eventually add into the game, because that would make it really cool. Okay. I don't know how valuable these neutron stars are either in terms of exploration data. I'm kind of grabbing them just because they're neutron stars, so, you know, there's that. Alright, let's see if we can't drop into the slipstream here a minute. Oh. No, I don't want to go towards it. Where's the stream? Where'd it go? Oh, I might be too far away. I might have gone out the bottom end of it. Yeah, there it is. I'm very leery of these things. It's like, eh. Okay, let her coast. There we go. Let me out. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, there is a couple different ways you could do this too. Like you could turn off, you could just ignore everything else and try and get to it and all that kind of, get to the next star and all that kind of stuff. What would this be? 1, 2, that was, we jumped to a star, then jumped supercharged. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, give or take, like 10 jumps over like the 30 we normally have to make. Now I will say this too, this is definitely going to impact our exploration data, because we're really not exploring all that much. We're kind of just beelining, but I'm not really worried about it, to be honest, because I never really was out here super duper for the exploration type deal. I was really out here more for getting to the center and the new stuff like that. It really wasn't about it didn't have anything to do with really getting all the data and all that kind of stuff. That really wasn't what I was trying to do. So there's that. But so yeah, making progress. I think I scanned this star. I'm pretty sure I did.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Whee! And I did want to point out too, I don't know that it'll be going up today, but I'll probably be putting out an update or some kind of video channel related, not really on any particular video or anything like that, for just some kind of like scheduling things, because my channel has kind of been in flux ever since probably Dragon Quest Builders-ish, that we got kind of stable, and then Final Fantasy came out, and then I got kind of stable, and then Astroneer came out, and so on and so forth. So it's been in kind of like flux in terms of what is going to come out when, what's the regular scheduled programming, stuff like that. We're also going to take the time, I think, to fire off a... Let's see. I think I need to... Yeah, crap, I forgot about that. Dang it. I'm supposed to drop out of Super Cruise. I always forget to do that, because it can't be active while it's being repaired. I always forget about that.
Module repaired.
Okay, we'll activate it, and then it'll have to cool down. While we're doing that, let's check the map. But yeah, probably sometime this week, definitely. I don't know when exactly, but sometime this week, I'm going to be putting out a update video of some kind. That's only 684 now? Let's see if we can jump to this one. Now, after this one, I'm going to have a bit of a pickle, because I don't know where to go from there. Alright, wait. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, wait, we passed one? So there's one there. Can I get to... yeah, I can get to that, because I can make this jump. Duh! Alright, and then that... Actually, this isn't a bad chart. Let's sit here for a second and kind of see, get a good idea. So, that's like a 3/4 jump. And then we skip one, looks like 2, almost 3 to go to that one. So we'll say 2.5 or something. So 1, I think there's one in here somewhere. There's a bend. 2, 3. Well, I don't know that I can make it to that one though. That's kind of far. These I can probably make. Let's find out. I like this, like I said, we are losing exploration data unless the neutron stars are really valuable. If they're really valuable, we're probably not missing out on much. But if they're not, well, yeah. So anyways, there's just been a lot going on my channel as of late, and behind the scenes. I've talked before at length about the multiple projects and things in the background that are going on that, you know, if I were just doing YouTube videos, it'd be fine. But with all other life stuff, especially around the holiday seasons and Christmas time and stuff, we've got all kinds of family stuff going on. So that's made it very difficult to juggle all the recent series that I've started and things like that. One thing is I probably will not be doing Stardew Valley anymore. Just, that's kind of like, no matter how I slice it, it's just not very profitable at the moment, as in terms of views and stuff like that. I mean, I'm happy that the people that have been tuning into it are enjoying it, but there's just not that many people watching it. So, it just doesn't really seem super viable to me at the moment when I've got other things that, when I've already got too much on my plate trying to add something that then is not really that valuable. It's just literally kind of a waste of time. I do appreciate everybody who, you know, watches it and enjoys it and all that kind of stuff, but it's just kind of one of those where I'm like, yeah. Alright, so we're out of that. Sweet. But so yeah, I'll probably be releasing an update video because I went through, and in light of all the new series, and it was like, okay, let's just sit down and figure out, like, what works, what needs to be done, you know, what are things that are still popular, what things have lost their popularity, you know, what are people really watching, kind of thing. Because it's hard for me, it's very hard for me to keep track of what is actually doing well on my channel, and the reason being, I don't have, and this is not like a, you know, jab or belittling or anything like that, because I'm not really a huge channel or whatever. You never get, you never really get, like, every person that watches your video or subscribes to your channel commenting all the time or anything like that. You're gonna get people that comment, people that don't. I personally am bad about that. There's a lot of YouTubers that I've watched for years, even before I even got into YouTube. As a YouTuber, but like as a viewer, I would still watch them. And then even after I got in as a YouTuber, I still looked up to them as, you know, role models, as far as like, hey, they did it, they got, you know, they're like pro YouTubers and that's all they do for a living, which is awesome, you know, and stuff like that. But you know, like the Minecraft guys, Generic B, BOO, Etho, you know, I watched most of their stuff. Corellis, love Corellis. He's just a great commentator and stuff. I love his humor, and he's just like a big kid sometimes. He's great. So all of those guys and stuff I really look up to and you know, see how well they do and things like that. And kind of, you know, end game goals, you know, kind of thing. It's like, I'd like to get to that point at some time, kind of thing like that. And so it's different when you're, but even them, you know, there's no way with like 1 million+ subscribers like some of them have, there's no way that everybody comments. It's just not feasible, you know, and I'm one of them. Like, I watch a lot of their videos and things. I rarely comment on them. Actually, I oftentimes forget to even like the videos, even though they, you know, kind of like I do and they do. Everybody asks you for, you know, if you like it, tell us you liked it. I'm bad about that. You know, even with people that I watch in my off time and stuff, it's like I'm bad about liking videos or leaving comments. I tend to watch them and close them. So there's that kind of thing. But I will say, it does make it difficult though, because if you're looking at a video, and I had this discussion with a friend of mine not too long ago, where we were talking about, you know, how the channel was doing, and it's like, you know, what's doing well, and I was like, it's hard to tell sometimes, because you know, it's stuff like, hypothetically, I'll throw a scenario out there for you. It's like if you have a video that has 50 views and you have 20 comments, that's over half the viewership that are commenting. They're all saying this is great, you should keep it going, but there's still, end of the day, bottom line, there's still 50 views. Which, as YouTubers, it's kind of like that's the end game goal, is high views, because that's what makes you money. You know, that's what keeps you going. It supports you to where you can then turn around and keep doing more of it. Likes are good because they tell you what people are enjoying, but, you know, you could have, again, a video that, like, every single viewer has liked, but there's only 10 people that watched it. You know, stuff like that. So it's all metrics. It's all analytic stuff as far as, you know, keeping track of what's going on and what the real numbers are you're looking at. And the bottom line is everybody wants views. I mean, that's kind of, I mean, you don't, it's kind of a catch-22. I wouldn't want the highest view. Well, now I have to be careful, because I was gonna say I wouldn't want the highest viewed video on YouTube if it also had the highest dislike count. I really wouldn't in general, just because it means you're not doing what people enjoy, or, you know, you're doing something that's like racist or like bad or, you know, negative or whatever, and so no one's liking it, they're all disliking it. However, if you were the highest viewed video on YouTube, you'd also have a lot of money, but money is not everything, you know, so there's that. So it all depends on what you're looking for. And for me, I learned early on there's always going to be people that dislike stuff. You know, it's just the way the world works. It's the internet. You know, you're not going to be able to please everybody. So I learned really early on in YouTubing that it's more a ratio game. It's more like if you have a good ratio of a lot more likes, you know, even a 1-to-1 isn't terrible, but I would like, you know, I like being more in the, I'm trying to pull a number out of my head while I'm trying to look at other numbers. It's complicated. But, you know, like a 5-to-1 ratio of likes to dislikes, that's really good, you know, because that would mean you'd have like 500 likes to every 50 dislikes. That's good. That's really good. You know, so just because you have dislikes and stuff doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means that, you know, there's people out there that, you know, to quote Taylor Swift, haters gonna hate, you know. So you just shake it off. That's what you do. But so there is that. You wouldn't want like a ton of views and then just like no likes and it's just like millions of dislikes. That would it's a one-stop shop, but it's kind of a one and done. You know, yes, you would have a lot of money off of that video, but then you really wouldn't have a reputation to keep sustaining viewership because no one likes your stuff now. So it's kind of a balancing game. You don't want to do things that, you know, just because, oh, this has a lot of views, but, you know, this one is half the likes of something. So it's all a metrics. It's all an analytics thing. But it makes it difficult when I didn't really even finish my scenario, did I? It's like, so if you had 50 views and 20 comments saying, yes, do this, but then you have another video. Now let's hypothetically say that they have similar like-dislike ratios, so it's not about what people enjoy more, it's about what's getting viewed. Let's go with that, because that makes things easier. So, same amount of likes and dislikes, no big deal. But if you had 50 views, 20 comments all saying, yes, you should keep doing this, right? Which I've had similar situations to this happen. It's not exact numbers, but I've had similar. And then you get a video where there's only 5 comments saying, yeah, you should keep doing this, but it has 400 views, or 500 views, or 1,000 views, whatever. And they came out relatively similar times. Like, you can obviously tell that while the comments are saying one thing, the overall, like, alright, now, I'm gonna drop before I... Oh, I'm going too fast. Okay. I'm gonna drop before I check to see if I need to repair my... No, we're good. I'm gonna try and do it about 95%. I think seems to work pretty good. So, you know, there's that. It kind of comes... And that's kind of what I've been dealing with. I've been launching a lot of new series on my channel. We got Final Fantasy 15, Dragon Quest Builders. Oh, that's interesting. It picked up the route again. Ooh, interesting. That's curious. Cool. I could use that. If I can find this star in the midst of all this crap. Alright, we're gonna go with this one, because now I can make it. So yeah, it's definitely like, it's a balancing game, and I've been dealing with that a lot. We're doing, you know, I'm doing at least 2 episodes a day. Some days, in case of Stardew Valley, was like 3 on Wednesdays. I just added Astroneer into this, so now I'm doing like 3 episodes daily until the launch week is over. So it's just very... And then I don't know where that's going to go afterwards. So it just prompted a lot of a hard look at numbers. And I went through and I tallied up ratios. Now, I didn't account for dates, and it's something I probably will go back and do before I finally announce like a overall schedule that I'm thinking. But part of it could be the first of the year coming up, you know, that you start looking at changes and New Year's, you know, start fresh kind of thing. I told Caden Red Pearl the other day, I sent him an email. because I'm playing around with a new logo, or not a new logo, but a new intro type thing, and stuff like that. And I sent it to him and was like, I'm feeling the itch, you know. So it could just be there's a lot of change going on between the end of the year, new games coming out, which means new series and stuff, and then stuff, like I said, going on in the background. There's Space Engineers finally updated their graphics module, or graphic overhaul, to where now the game looks a lot different. So now I'm a little bit more planning out a schedule to where I can work on some Dog Squad stuff, because that had kind of been put on hold because I didn't want to film part of the season and then have them update the graphics of the game. Not to mention the graphics of the game look a lot better. So there's that. But, so yeah, there's just been a lot going on, not only on the front end. I mean, there's a lot of, you guys have been seeing a lot of changes to the schedule, video series that are new, changing what goes up on what day, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of that going on top of then the stuff behind the scenes you guys aren't privy to. That there's been a few changes in schedule for working on some of those projects and things like that. So, you know, it's tough. It's tough. But now wait a minute. Are you gonna plot the route like it did before? Or what's going on here? Oh, you know what? It's because I have the... Yep. Okay. It's because I have the supercharge still. That's what's doing it. So whenever you drop out of a jump and you're not supercharged, then the plot will pick up from where you left off. That's very intriguing. That is very intriguing. So you can kind of do it this way. So theoretically, I assume the fastest route would probably be to go through and mark, like turn off everything but the non-sequence stars, mark everything that you can find, mark all of them you can find, so they're easy to see, because once you turn everything back on, they're going to be hard to find. Then you turn back on the normal route, plot the route, but then if you see one that's close enough that you can reach it, jump to that. Once you're supercharged, try and get to the next one. The route picks up from there. That's probably the fastest route that you could possibly do, maybe. I don't know. I did have a comment that mentioned, you know, a lot of people have been testing it and stuff, and it seems kind of like it may be coming out in the wash, ultimately. And even my own videos, I'm like, oh wow, we're making good time, but I still end up kind of ending at the same progress point that it took me. When you're taking into account scanning stuff, getting the supercharge, repairing your ship, all that kind of stuff, it does kind of seem to come out in the wash. Alright, so we're going to drop out. And let's see, 96, close enough. Inactive and repair. Now, I don't think I can set a route while I'm repairing my engine. That doesn't seem like something I can do. Okay. Now ready? Oh, it didn't have to go into a cooldown. That's cool. Huh? Cool. Get it? And now it should... Yep, there it goes. Alright, so that's what's doing it. That's what's doing it. So I could probably make this star. This one looks close enough. Ooh, 39. No, I'm gonna have to go to that one and then maybe that one. And then this one's a pretty good clip away. That was 39, so what is this one? 239, so it's literally 200 light years from the other one. So I could probably go to this one, so that's be 1, 2, and then like halfway, and then pick this back up, or we could just do some normal jumps. I think I might just do some normal jumps, actually. We've been kind of doing a lot of the... Let's pick up some more exploration data, keep it a little lighter, not so focused on doing that stuff. We'll see how that works out for us for the remainder. We should have... how many? 13. So I will say it's not as tedious for me, even though it may not be faster, just because you're not jumping. You know, it's not like taking forever to get there. You're like, dilly-dally, do a couple things, jump, do it, dilly-dally, do a little things, launch, you know, and you're like kind of like leaping, as opposed to, you know, doing it the other way. So there's that.
Fuel scooping.
Wait a minute, where'd my target go? Oh, did I accidentally lock onto the... I think I accidentally locked onto the star.
Fuel scooping complete.
Whoops. I did. Don't do that. So yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out which way is the quote-unquote best way to finish out our trip. I do think... I don't know, there's more time invested in planning the route with the neutron stars, but I do think it's not quite so tedious just because it's not so many jumps. Now, on the other hand, you never see anything different because the neutron stars are always the same. So, you know, not that there's that much different scenery to see out here, but as far as my channel stuff goes, I will be issuing an update with some more detailed numbers and things like that, but I did some number crunching as far as view count ratios and all this kind of stuff. And I actually incorporated stuff that has been on hiatus or considered done on my channel for a while, and I was actually surprised, including those series, what was actually coming up as the highest viewed stuff on my channel in terms of ratio. Now, I didn't take into account, and I probably will before I actually release, hey, this is what I'm thinking, what do you guys think? Before I actually release a schedule like that, I probably will take into account dates in terms of this is the ratio of views per video, but then how long did it take to get there? Because there's some things like, you know, if you've only released 3 episodes and you have, hypothetically, let's just say you have 1,000 views per episode, so you have 3,000 views total, that's not going to match something that on a ratio has 2,000 views per ratio, or per video, right? But that ratio may have taken longer to build. It might have been that those same 5 videos have been out for a year, you know, versus a few days. Well, that changes things, because if I got that in a few days off this new one, then hey, you know, it may end up doing better if it was released around the same time. So there is that I have to also probably take into account, and I'll have to see how those numbers affect things. But overall, I'm just really I've never actually looked this hard at my channel before. I've usually just kind of eyeballed it. You know, it's like, this is making this series is making this views, this series is making this view, whatever, and this is doing a lot lower, so I'm just not doing that anymore. And this is the first time I actually went back through past and current series on my channel and stuff, and actually like wrote down likes, dislikes, views for like the playlist. I found a website that you can pull up stats for a full playlist, because for some stupid reason YouTube doesn't do it. YouTube doesn't have, like, if you pull up in your analytics on like, if you ran your own channel and you pull up your analytics and you say, I want to see the stats for my Elite Dangerous playlist, the weird part is it'll say like, okay, I'll give it to you like this. I know for a fact that one of my videos in this series, I think it was like the first one or something like that, but anyways, one of the videos has well over like 2,000-3,000 views. Easy, right? Not really a hard number to guess at. So when you pull up your analytics for the playlist and it's like you have 430 views, you're like, what? No, I don't. I have a lot more than that. There's like 100 videos in that thing. The last video had more views than that. And it basically, you end up realizing it's going off of the playlist views, aka how many times someone has clicked on that playlist and watched videos from that playlist, not the number of views of each video totaled within the playlist. And so I don't know why they do it that way, because to me it's kind of dumb. Playlists are just like folders to me in like Windows Explorer. You just put them in a playlist so that you easily can access, this is where all that content is. I don't care if people are watching through the playlist or not. it's a good way to organize, and for people that really like the series, and I've had people comment, I need to get caught up. Well, a playlist is easy, because then you just click on the playlist, it auto-plays from where you left off, whatever. And you don't have to go looking for, okay, where's the next video in the suggested feed or whatever. So I'm a huge playlist fan. Anytime I've done more than a couple episodes on a video and it's actually something I'm going to keep around, I always throw it in a playlist. Because it just makes it easy and organized. But I don't care about how many views are going through the playlist. I want to know, kind of like, it's almost like, it would be the example, for those of you that may still not quite get it, it would be like looking at a folder on Windows Explorer, and it's like, instead of telling me the total number of files in the folder and how much overall size they take up on my hard drive, it tells me how many times I clicked on the folder. It's like, well, that doesn't help me. I want to know what's in the folder. So that's really annoying, but there was a site that I found that gave you data on the individual views totaled in the playlist rather than the playlist data. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want. Well, then you have to use a JavaScript code in a little snippet in the Internet Explorer's like inspector console window thing. So it's just kind of annoying and complicated, but it will give you, like, it'll add up all the views that all of those videos total and stuff like that. So I went through with like most of my series. I didn't do all of them. Anything that wasn't going to be recurring, Assassin's Creed or something that I said was like, I'm just playing through the campaign and then I'm done. It's not something I intend to maintain. Stuff like that I didn't do. Anything that was like, you had season 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, I just did the latest one because that showed me what the most recent reaction was to that game or whatever. So there's a few things I left out. But for the most part, I went back through and kind of grabbed most all of my series that have been on the channel before. And I got some interesting numbers back. Now, like I said, they may not be quite as interesting once I add in dates, that it might change my view on them. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I have to actually figure out how I want to do that in terms of what the accurate way to assess that would be. Because again, then you're factoring in, well, you're talking about how many times, or how much time it took for those videos to amass those views, but then how do you compare it to videos that only had a few, but then they were a while ago, stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to tell. But overall, it did give me the numbers I'm seeing made sense. They just surprised me, if that makes sense to everybody. It's like because of where certain series fall, I'm like, okay, this might actually be accurate because I expected those to be there. I just didn't expect that, and that one to be where they are, stuff like that. So I'll get into more detail in my update video where I'm actually going to be discussing plans and what I'm thinking. But overall, I'm probably going to be releasing an update soon, and this week is probably fine. This week's probably going to be normal. But I'm hoping that by next week... Why am I refueling again? That was odd. I'm hoping that by next week I will basically be able to have a schedule in mind. And I may not implement it right away. I might make it a first of the year overhaul, New Year's resolution kind of thing, where we're starting the new year off with like new stuff. There's a few series that are guaranteed. Space Engineers Inspiration Series for one, the Space Engineers Let's Play, Elite Dangerous. All of those are within the highest margins of my metrics, so, they're kind of a shoo-in for... I'm starting to sound like an actual TV network. They're a shoo-in for renewal next year. We're looking at our fall schedule, and the ratings are good, so, it's definitely getting a season 4. It's not going to be a half final season. So, stuff like that. But... yeah, some of it was very surprising though, and I'm looking forward to getting feedback, I guess. And you guys can, start, ahead of time if you want, and leave comments on this video if you'd like to, on what your favorite things are, and you know, I'm probably thinking of in my update video looking for, in terms of like a poll, looking for like top 3 and bottom 3 in opinions, as far as like what's your top 3 things that you like about my channel and what you come here for, kind of thing. And then like what's the least favorite things, like, you know, that makes your eyes roll every time you see it in the news feed, kind of thing, stuff like that. But yeah, it had some interest. It yielded some interesting numbers, though. So it would be a fairly drastic shift, other than stuff like what I consider my core stuff, Elite Dangerous, Space Engineers, those kinds of things. They're not going anywhere. But there were some things that were really high on the list that I expected to be really low, or lower than they were, at least. There's a couple other exceptions. Astroneer is one of them, because I just started it. I don't think it's really fair to gauge it the way I'm gauging something like Space Engineers. I mean, ratios should hold up, but, you know, they haven't had as much time to amass some of the views. And, you know, it's different from something that's been out for a month and the videos just aren't generating views or something. I mean, Astroneer's doing pretty good for a brand new series. It's doing better than pretty much any of my new series that I've started in the past couple months. So I wouldn't think it's very fair to it to just cut it and be like, oh no, because it's had 3 videos, it's not doing well. Especially when it shows promise. Stardew, no matter how I slice it, Stardew is almost always on the bottom. So, because it's also being shoehorned in, and I'm making it an extra episode on Wednesdays, I'm probably just going to end up stopping that one. And I may do one more, just to kind of let people who watch that know that I'm stopping it. I don't know. That'll just depend on when I get my update video and stuff done. So we'll see. But, am I almost there yet? It's good gravy. Alright, we only have 2. We'll get there. This is a little bit longer than usual, but I think I actually went further than usual because I changed my route at the last minute. So I think I actually went like 1,200 or something, so that's probably why. But yeah, so keep that in mind and look out for that update video, because it should be coming out sometime this week. I'm hoping it'll be within the next day or 2. But again, scheduling, I'm not really sure when I'm going to get to what, but again, part of the problem is scheduling. I can't keep up with my current schedule at the moment. It's just too much. You know, when I look at the to-do list for the day of what needs to be recorded and then what needs to be done after I record, it's just like, you know, it's like, this is not sustainable. It's just not good. So I never like cutting series, because, you know, if I'm playing a game... That was weird. I'm still refueling. If I'm playing a game, it's because I enjoy it. You know, for the most part. There's a couple of them that I do because I know everyone really looks forward to it, but I've started to lose a little bit of interest, but everyone's still like, yeah, let's keep going. I'm like, okay, whatever. And there are a couple exceptions, one being Subnautica. Subnautica is a weird one because it actually does have high marks, so it would be a good series to keep, but unless I just start over, which I might end up doing. I might just start over, because I loaded up the game not too long ago after they did the most recent patch, and like still a small that's right, I did target a Neutron. Whoops. Alright, well, we're gonna wrap things up here for this episode. Anyways, look out for that update video. Changes are a-coming. And also let me know what you guys think about the Neutron paths. Should we do them? Should we just ignore them? What do you think? Because I'm really on the fence about them. I don't know if they're faster or not. I think they're kind of an apple to orange. They're kind of the same time frame of, you know, it takes about the same time to do the same thing. It's just done a different way. So let me know what you guys prefer. Then, if you don't think it's faster and you think it's about the same, just let me know what you prefer, then we'll go from there. So I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.